Hello, welcome back to the garage. I recently bought a new Vespa PX200 and I found it to be very wobbly on the road. So I started to check things, and the first thing that I noticed was that the bearings in the steering column was loose. So this was all wobbly, so I tightened the bearings. And then another common issue that I mentioned before is that the center nut on the rear wheel can come loose, and that was also in this case it was loose. So I had to tighten that, but it's still wobbly, and I'm going to show you why.
Soft rubbers.
Yeah. So the bushings for the engine mount are worn out. So the whole yeah, look at that.
210.
Yeah. So the bushings for the engine mount, I'll show you. These bushings for the engine mount are worn out, so that makes the whole thing wobbly. So I need to change these on my bike.
Here's my old one. I can easily squeeze with 2 fingers.
Yeah. Can you see how soft the rubber is? So it's very, very old and worn.
Yeah.
So this you don't want to treat like this, because then you get an unstable bike. So I'm going to try. So I'm going to try to change these without removing the engine. That's my plan. I'm going to start with changing the rubber for the rear shock absorber here. It's a new reinforced one. First of all, I have to put this jack under the engine to give it something to rest on, and then I can remove this screw here and then push the rubber out. Now that's out, then I go on with the rubber. I'm using the same method to get the rubber out, like so. And here you have it, it's out. And then we have a new one here that we can go on and attach. Let's get the new one in. So that was the rear engine mount rubber in place. So now I'm going to the front ones, and I think it might be a little bit trickier. So these are the ones, the new ones, and they are rock hard. So my plan here is, as I said, to do this without removing the engine, and I don't know if it will work, but I'm going to try. So what I will do is that I will loosen the engine from the frame in front, and then I will lift the frame up so the engine comes down, and hopefully I can manage to get the rubber bushings out, silent rubbers or whatever you want to call them. So the reason that I don't want to remove the engine from the frame and put it here on my workbench is because, well, then I have to remove all the cables, all the hoses and so on. It will be a lot of work. So if it's possible to do it with the engine still in place, I think that would be great. So let's try. Now remove this shaft, and well, it won't be as easy as I hoped, because the gear selector cables here are too short, so I need to loosen them, and maybe the brake cable is okay, but maybe the clutch, I maybe might be needing to loosen the clutch cable. But at least the gear cables must come off in this end. So the next problem now is that I can't get the engine down enough to get the engine mounts out, because the cylinder takes in the frame here. So this didn't work as smooth as I wanted to. But what I'm going to try now is I will loosen the rear shock and let all of the engine down, and maybe then I can move it a bit backwards. I can't see what I'm doing.
And what are you doing now? You're gonna loosen these ones.
Yeah, they are also in the way. So my plan from the start was I hoped that I wouldn't be needing to loosen any cables, but
just to lower the engine.
Yeah, but that didn't work, obviously.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. Now the engine is down enough so I can get the rubbers out. So I had to remove also the clutch and the brake, but all of these are still in place, so save some work by doing this. So now I will do, I think, like I did with the rear rubber. I lubricated a bit around the rubber and then try to force it out. So this is how they are sitting in the engine. So my plan here is to take a screwdriver or something, put it in here, and then force this out by like this. I won't see if that works. Någonting. Okay. That's one.
The first one.
One to go. These are the old ones, and these are really soft, totally worn out. They're starting to loosen from the pipe here, and these are very hard. So what I'm going to do now, before I mount the new ones, I will clean up the holes and everything so it will go in smoothly. Now I've put my new rubbers in on each side, and I have this long bar here. So we'll try to push them in. Is the plan. It works. Four here. So it's coming along quite good actually. You can see here that the rubber is going in. On the other side it hasn't moved anything yet, but I will take this side first and then I will go on with the other side. A little bit more. Okay. On this side the rubber is not quite in yet, but on this side it's too far in. So what I need to do now is pull this in here. So I'm going to turn this here with this socket here so that I can take it in. You can see here they have a gap between the two pipes here. They should be against each other. Now you can see the two pipes coming together, which should mean I'm the right way. Now the new rubbers are in place. Now I can mount everything again. And these are much better than the old ones. These doesn't move at all. Now I just need to put everything back and we will see if it feels stable. But you know, you need a break. A Swedish fika, coffee and bun.
And some gossip.
And some gossip.
Cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns.
Yeah. Blub 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 blub.